Hello and welcome. I hope everybody's having a really good day. I'm just here in my bedroom right now, and I just really wanted to wish you guys all, first of all, a very happy new year, 2021. I really wanted to show you guys this plant here. So this over here is the Balfour Aralia, or the Polyscias scutellaria variegata, also known as the Polyscias balfouriana. So this over here is in the family Araliaceae. It's a hard word to say, and it's grown on me. I think this is one of my favorite plants now. So it has this really interesting growth habit too. So just a little bit of backstory on this plant. It's native to the southwestern Pacific Islands. So it's native to the Solomon Islands, Vanuatu, Nauru, New Caledonia, Papua New Guinea, a couple other islands there, Fiji, American Samoa, those kinds of places. So this is a plant that naturally thrives in relatively high humidity, and it's a plant that really likes having a higher air temperature around it. So this over here is, I find it's a little bit harder to come by. It's more of a plant that you come across in a sort of a, dang, I haven't filmed a video in a long time, so this feels really weird. It's just kind of one of those plants that you find more in a specialty shop or a plant shop that specifies and specializes in tropicals. So it's a little bit hard to come by, but it's very easy to propagate, and it has this really interesting compound leaf. So there's another very common variety of this, also known as the Aralia fabienne, or the dinner plate plant. And that's just quite simply because the leaves are kind of dinner plate shaped. I think they look a lot like the hibiscus. So not to confuse that with this one here, this is the variegated variety. And another common variety you might come across in the store is the Ming Aralia, or the stump Aralia. So that one over there has a much more thinner, more well-lobed, feathery type of leaf structure to it. Just another really cool plant that I highly recommend. I'll make a video on one of those later. But yeah, so a couple of interesting things I want to tell you guys about this plant. So the leaves show variegation incredibly early. They're very, very small. I don't know if you can see, there's a new leaf right there. It's not focusing. But they start off incredibly small, smaller than, like, if you were to put your pinky against it, your pinky would look massive because it's just so small. And they unfurl within about a day. So this over here, this compound leaf that's just popping up right over here, is only about a day old. It's incredibly quickly growing if you give it really high light and high humidity. So in the wild, this plant grows up to about, I want to say, 20 feet high. So it's quite a tall plant. It has a very slender form to it. This is a plant that if you cut it back, it'll develop a really nice trunk for you. You can make topiaries with it. You can make air layered cuttings with it. And it doesn't really, it has a very, very nondescript inflorescence to it. I don't really think it's very, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't think it's common to see these guys blooming indoors just because you don't have enough natural ambient light in most situations, and it doesn't really like too much temperature fluctuation. So this over here, if you make it happy, it'll grow really well for you. So a couple more tips I want to give you other than highlight high humidity are to let the soil dry out between waterings, and I mean this quite generously. So if you let the soil dry out for about 2-3 days, almost to the point where it's bone dry between waterings, this plant here will definitely tell you if it needs water, but it'll benefit from that dry period. If it's kept evenly moist, you'll start to notice a little bit of browning on the tips. When I first got this plant, I had that issue. The leaf eventually fell off, but I did a lot better growing it. So it has this really interesting tiger marcation to it too. My phone does not want to focus on that, but it has these really nice lenticels too. Oh, I don't think you guys can see it. Oh well, next time. I'll try to update you guys on a lot of my plants. A lot of my really early plants that I did when I just started my YouTube channel are doing a lot better. They're a lot bigger. Namely, the Trachycarpus fortunei, or the windmill palm, has almost doubled in size, and my holly fern has tripled in size. So I'll try to make a few updates for you guys. So I just have this one over here that I put just in a lower basin. I water it from the bottom. This is just to ensure that it doesn't rot. It kind of sucks up the water that it needs. And much like a pebble tray, this over here just ups your ambient humidity within the room. So I have several other plants here that I'm going to show you guys in later videos. I already showed you guys the bromeliad. I have this Monstera deliciosa. I think I want to make a video that separates that from the split leaf philodendron because a lot of people have a little bit of confusion, I've noticed. I have Mimosa pudica, or Mimosa pudicea as some people say, the sensitive plant. And I have this Maranta leucanura, which is just really beautiful, that I want to show you guys in a later video too. And this is just kind of a bit of a show and tell. I don't really normally show you guys this corner of my house, but I just have a kalanchoe here. I'm gonna start bonsaiing some pelargoniums, so I just took these from outside and plopped them in some water. I did a heavy prune of them, so I'm gonna keep you guys updated on that. I'm growing a sweet potato. I just picked kind of like an average sized sweet potato. I'm gonna root it to make some slips. Might make a video on that later. I got a dendrobium orchid in the back there, not doing so well. I'll try to make that do better. Try to coax it up. I got some Schlumbergera cacti in the background. And this little pothos that I just found, it only has one leaf. I'm going to try to rejuvenate that. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, so some takeaways with this video. Beautiful variegation, really quick growing habit, has this really nice woody stalk, great lenticels. I don't know if you can finally see it. Maybe if I put it next, there you go. Really interesting plant. It has this really cool, almost maze-like waxy undercoat to it. Very tropical appeal. I think everyone should grow this plant. I think it's so enjoyable. You can see it unfurl, and it's just a beautiful work of nature, yeah. It really benefits from grow lights too. So I hope you guys all have a really wonderful day. It's good making videos again. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful, happy new year. And yeah, stay safe. Till next time.